Hey Todd, thanks for coming in today. I appreciate you coming in. Last time you were here, we talked about an assessment, and today we're actually going to go step by step through the assessment. It'll probably take about half an hour, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, okay?
Okay.
How are you doing today?
Doing okay.
Okay.
Is there a restroom I can use here?
Yeah, it's down the hall to
Okay.
the left.
Okay, so if I have to go, I can.
Correct. Yeah, just let me know. We can stop at any time.
Okay.
So the assessment, we're going to talk about a couple different aspects of your life. We're going to talk about criminal histories, some employment stuff, family stuff, who you hang out with. If you have any, questions about what we're talking about, let me know. But I'll gather as much information as possible. I have some information already in your file, but I wanted to find out from you some of the details, okay?
Sure. That's fine.
So tell me about the first time you were ever arrested.
Probably would have been about 10 years ago.
Okay.
I got my first DUI, and they pulled me over and got me out, and we did the whole sobriety test thing, and they ended up taking me to jail that night.
Okay. How old were you?
10 years ago, I was about 30.
Okay. So that was the first time you were ever arrested?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So you never got in trouble as a kid, never had juvenile probation, anything like that?
No, I never got in trouble with the law.
Okay. Okay, never got arrested.
Yeah.
So you were 30 years old. You got your first DUI. So how did that end up for you?
Not great. They put me in a diversion program
Okay.
that I did not complete. So I think I ended up at the end of that having like 5 days jail too, and it's on my record still.
Okay. Why didn't you complete it?
Probably just a little immaturity and didn't have any follow through then.
Okay. Okay. So what happened when you didn't complete it? What ended up happening in court?
They took me back before the judge because I think they ended up having like a bench probation thing. And
Okay.
then I got 5 days, and that was pretty much the end of it.
Okay. So tell me about any other arrests that you've had.
So about 3 years after that, I got my second DUI.
Okay.
And that was misdemeanor probation.
So tell me how that went for you.
It went really well at first. It went really well. I did all my treatment I needed to, and then I just kind of by the end I was just kind of done with it because it had lasted so long. So I just stopped checking in with my PO, and he basically had to come find me. And
Okay.
I think he ended up writing like a letter to the judge, and I got it revoked by the end of it.
Okay. So then you got revoked. You did jail time?
Yes, I did like 20 days on that, I think.
20 days jail. Okay. And you had mentioned a bench probation.
That was the first DUI
Okay.
after I
And
didn't
so
complete the diversion.
Okay. So you didn't complete that. So it's considered a violation?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Okay.
Once I didn't complete it, there was no like conditional discharge anymore. So,
All right. Can you tell me about any other arrests or convictions?
do you want me to talk to you about the one I'm on now? That's because that's it.
Sure. Okay. So you've got the two DUIs.
Yeah.
And then you've got your present offense.
Yes.
Okay. So tell me, what are you on supervision for now?
So I'm on for an arson 2.
Okay.
They said I had started a fire in somebody's car using I think Perel and like a lighter.
Okay. Okay. You said that they said that you did that. Can you tell me what you remember about?
I don't remember anything. I was pretty drunk. I was blackout. It doesn't sound like something I would do. I've never been a fire starter. But I guess they tied like some of my fingerprints to stuff that was around the car.
Okay.
And then they took some photos of my hands because I got some burn marks.
Okay. So you've got 2 DUIs, and then you're on for arson 2 right now.
Mm-hmm.
You've got this probation. You've been in jail a couple of times. Tell me about how your time went when you were in jail.
Just kept to myself, did my time, tried to talk to my parents as much on the phone as I could, and nothing happened.
Okay. So you didn't get written up, or you didn't get any like bunk-ins or any
No.
official misconduct?
Not
Okay.
Nope.
All right. So I just want to recap to make sure that we've got this. So you've got 2 DUIs, you've had bench probation, You weren't successful at the diversion or the bench probation. You did some jail time. No problems in jail, and now you've got a probation for an arson too.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds right.
So the next section that we're going to talk about is kind of your employment.
Okay.
Can you tell me what kind of education you've had, what kind of job that you are doing now, what have you done in the past?
So I worked for about 10 years at Oregon Ice Cream, driving forklift for them. I kind of had a record of calling in a little bit. And so then when I got this new charge, I sat in jail for about 30 days and I lost my job.
Okay. And how long ago did you have that job?
I had that job for about 10 years.
Okay. And over the past year, how many months have you worked? Like out of the last 12 months, how many months did you work full time?
Oh, I've only been on probation now for about 2 months.
Okay.
And I had it all the way up until I got arrested, which was about 3 months ago then.
Okay. So it sounds like you have a really good job history.
Yeah.
Are you working now?
I'm not. I lost my job because
Okay.
of the time in jail.
Are you seeking employment now?
Yeah, I'm looking all the time. I'm actually hoping to get my old job back if I can kind of have some coworkers help me convince my supervisor.
Okay, that sounds good. And can you tell me, what did you do? Did you get certifications? What did they require as far as your education to get that job?
It was like a certified forklift driver.
Okay.
Had to take some safety courses and things.
Where did you go to high school?
North Eugene.
North Eugene? Okay. And tell me about your experience there.
It was good. I played a little football, got okay grades, had a lot of friends.
Okay. And then how did high school end for you?
So in 11th grade, I had a kind of an accident, and I was out kind of medically for a long time after that.
Okay. When you were in high school, did you ever get suspended or expelled?
No, I was a kid.
So, Todd, I want to recap a little bit on the education and employment section. You went to North Eugene High School, and then after high school, you got a job working as a forklift driver for Oregon Ice Cream.
Yeah.
And that's where you worked for 10 years, and you'd like to get a job there again.
Yeah, I would love to.
Sounds good. The next section is family marital. So tell me about like your family, your parents, your siblings, family members.
Okay, I have my parents. I just moved back in with them because after losing my job,
Okay.
and the kind of legal expenses, I couldn't afford my place anymore. So I moved back in with them. They're not exactly happy about it, but they understand and they want to see me do well. They're very supportive. Yeah.
Okay. Where were you living before you lived with your parents?
I had a small house.
Okay. So you moved from the house, you've moved back in with your parents. They're supportive of you, and they're willing to help you out right now.
Yeah. Yep.
Tell me about other relatives. Like, do you have any siblings?
So we've got a brother and a sister.
Okay.
Brother lives in Eugene. Sister lives closer to Portland.
Okay. Tell me about your relationship with them.
It's good. I mean, we really only see each other if mom and dad have us over for dinner or, Christmases, Easter, stuff like that.
Okay. So you have some contact with them. Are they good influences for you?
Yeah, I mean, they're all good people. They don't have any sort of legal history like I do.
Okay. Does anybody in your family have a criminal history or an arrest history?
I think there are a couple of cousins I have that they also got DUIs about the same time I was getting my first one.
Okay. And are you dating anybody right now?
No.
Okay. Can you tell me more about that?
My girlfriend broke up with me.
Okay.
And I started drinking pretty heavily. I would love to get back together with her, but it would appear that maybe she's found somebody else.
Okay. So were you guys living together before, or?
We were.
Okay, so you guys were living together. You broke up, you started drinking heavily, you moved back in with mom and dad after all this legal stuff happened.
Yeah.
Okay, you've got a brother and a sister, good influences on you, and you've got some cousins who have had a history of DUI.
Yeah.
Okay. It kind of transitions us into the next section, which is leisure and recreation.
Okay.
So tell me, what do you do in your free time?
I do a lot of fishing, a lot of bowling, a lot of golfing. Love to watch movies.
Okay. Now, sometimes there's things that we do that are like organized activities. Like some people have like a book club, or, they go to, specific church functions or hold a position at NA or AA. Can you tell me about any kind of organized activity that you do on a regular basis?
I am a member of a Monday night bowling league.
Oh,
I've done that for about 5-6 years.
Okay. Tell me more about that. Who do you bowl with?
There were 2 guys from work, and then there was a couple of their friends. And every Monday night we were on a league. We did really well, about a 205 average.
Okay. So that's kind of your thing, is bowling. You like fishing, golfing. Tell me about how often do you do the other activities? So like the fishing, the golfing.
I still fish with my dad quite a bit.
Okay.
We've kind of tapered off because we both like to drink when we fish.
Okay.
The golfing has also kind of stopped a little bit. The friends that I was golfing with say they're okay with like going back to golfing without me drinking, but I feel like if I went golfing, I'd probably go drinking because that's what I used to do.
Okay. So how often would you say now that you're spending time? You said that you and your dad tapered off.
Yeah.
How often are you fishing now, like per month?
Like once last month.
Okay. And then what about the golfing with your buddies?
We also went once last month, and then my buddies went to the clubhouse and drank, and I went home, which was uncomfortable.
Okay. So it sounds like drinking's kind of involved in these activities. How about when you bowl every week?
We like to do pretty well, so that's why I think we picked the Monday night, because there's not as much drinking. It's not as much, like we used to be a Thursday night group, and that was just kind of a drunk fest. But
Okay. Okay. So you do a weekly bowling league. You've been doing that for several years. That's an activity where, if you didn't show up and you're the anchor bowler, then somebody would notice, right?
Yeah. We do have an alternate, but I'm one of the better bowlers on the team, and we went to state or kind of a championship round last year. So.
Yeah. Nice hobby. And then you've got a couple other activities, so fishing and golfing that you've enjoyed doing in the past, but there's a lot of alcohol use that goes on with those activities, and you've kind of tapered off.
Yes.
Okay. Are there any activities that you'd like to do outside of the fishing and golfing, or things that you've thought, hey, I'd like to pick up this hobby?
No, those are kind of my 3 main ones that I put time into.
Okay, excellent. So our next section kind of focuses on the people that we hang out with. And these are the people outside of our family members, okay? So there's people that are friends, okay? So people that you would probably trust, call for advice maybe, and then there's people that you just kind of know.
Okay.
So the first question is going to ask about the people that you just kind of know.
Okay.
Tell me about those people. What kind of people are they?
I guess coworkers.
Coworkers?
The guys I knew
That's a
through
good
work.
one. Okay.
Some of the other guys on different bowling leagues. Is that kind of what you're getting at?
Yes.
Okay.
So coworkers, people who bowl with you, do they have similar backgrounds as you as far as like arrest history, anything like that?
I don't think so. They all seem to have jobs and do well and be pretty social, but I don't know them all that well, so.
Okay.
No one's like said anything, I guess.
Okay. So it sounds like you've got some, as far as you know, They're pretty pro-social people.
Yep.
Okay, sounds good. And the other category of people that we have are friends. So what for you determines if somebody's a friend or not?
I guess like you were saying, if they kind of were not in my life, I'd miss them a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay. And somebody you'd go to for advice. Okay.
Sure.
How many people do you have that are like close friends?
I'd say the 4 guys from my bowling league, the 3 guys I golf with, and a couple of good work buddies.
Okay, so close friends, people that you would call if you needed advice, something like that.
Yeah.
You've got 4 guys that you bowl with. You've got some golf buddies. So you've got a pretty solid core group of friends.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody from either group, like your acquaintances or your friends who have had like a DUI or anything like that?
Oh, I don't think so.
Okay.
All my friends hold jobs. Like I said, they're very supportive of me and not drinking and doing this probation. I just think it would be very tough. Like I think they probably still want to drink after I'd leave or something like that. I imagine if we got too comfortable with it, they'd probably drink. But no, they've never been in trouble with the law. They all hold jobs.
Okay.
They're all good people.
Okay. Have you talked to them about your arrest and all of that?
Yeah, I mean, everybody knows because it's affected pretty much everything I do.
Okay.
Like, so no money for golfing, and then we can't drink when we golf and all that stuff. Obviously, I don't work with my buddies from work anymore. And
okay. So you've got these friends who are pretty supportive. They know your situation,
yeah.
and they're trying to kind of help you through it.
Yep.
They may still drink and everything, but they try and do that separate from when they're hanging out with you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Try is probably the operative word there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next section is alcohol and drugs.
Okay.
Okay. So can you tell me about the role alcohol has had in your life?
It was never a big deal. It was always around growing up.
Okay.
Dad liked to drink a few beers after work.
How old were you when you first tried alcohol?
It's probably like 5th grade or so.
Oh, wow. How old were you? Like, do you think like 10, 11 years old?
Yard, 5th grade.
Okay. And you said that your dad always had alcohol around?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mainly beer.
Was there ever an alcohol problem with him?
I don't think so. No.
Okay.
No.
On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being no problem at all, 10 being like a big problem, where do you find yourself?
Like a 4 or 5.
Okay. Okay. Would you say that alcohol's been a problem for you in the last year?
Oh, well, obviously, I was drinking when I got my arson charge. I don't know if there's a problem. I was dealing with some depression with my girlfriend breaking up with me. When I caught my second DUI, that's when they had dropped the age or the limit to like 0.08. If it had been 0.10, I wouldn't have had the second DUI. So, I mean, obviously, I don't have a job now, so it's cost me some financial stuff.
Right. So it sounds like your alcohol use has it's caused some problems with you legally. It may have caused some problems with your family members. Can you kind of expand on that?
Well, I don't know so much about my family members, but, my girlfriend definitely didn't like me drinking.
Okay. And it sounds like because of your alcohol use, you lost your job.
Yeah.
Okay. And over the past year, have you had any medical issues because of alcohol use? Have you had to go to detox? Have you experienced blackouts?
Well, I don't remember the crime. Like I said, I'm not even positive that I'd do something like that. So they tell me that's a blackout. That's what the police asked me, is if I blacked out. So.
Okay. Going back, I'm going to ask you some of the same questions, but about drug use. Can
Okay.
you tell me about any history of drug use that you have?
I tried marijuana a couple times in high school.
Okay. Would you consider marijuana a problem for you now?
No, I haven't touched it in a couple years.
Okay. So alcohol has always been in your life. You've had 2 DUIs, and then now with this most recent crime that you're arrested and convicted for, you lost your job, and it sounds like you were blacked out at the time. You don't remember it at all.
Yes.
Okay. Anything more that you wanted to add as far as alcohol and drug use?
No, I mean, that pretty much covers it.
Okay. One question that I like to ask is, you had mentioned that you did some treatment in the past. Can you tell me more about the experience that you had when you did treatment in the past and kind of where you're at as far as wanting to do treatment now?
I just got bored with it.
Okay.
You know, the last 2 times I tried it, I drink. I think I'm a pretty social drinker. But, you know, you put me in a treatment program with a bunch of guys that are doing meth and, you know, really messing up their lives, and I don't want to sit there and listen to that.
You don't feel like you fit in there?
No.
Okay. So now that we're looking at moving forward with your probation and everything, how do you feel about, you know, going by the court order and having to do treatment now?
I'm okay with it, and I'm ready to give it a shot. Like I said, I think, you know, there's definitely some benefits to doing it. I might be able to get my girlfriend back, maybe get my job back. You know, maybe it's time for a change.
Okay. Well, it looks like you have taken some good steps in that way. It looks like you completed an alcohol and drug evaluation. We're waiting to hear back on where you go to treatment. You've been showing up here, so it sounds like you're at least willing to put in the footwork.
Yeah, I mean, there's a chance I can get done early with this, and, you know, you tell me to be here, I'll be here.
Perfect. Okay, so can you tell me, looking back on, you know, what happened with the arson 2 conviction, how do you feel about it? Do you think it's fair? Do you think it's, you know, too much? Tell me how you feel about it.
Like I said, I don't really remember any of it. The person that it happened to, I didn't know who they were.
Okay.
They tell me that they left their car unlocked, and evidently I was in the car, and I found some like Purell and a Bic lighter or something, which, like I said, I don't think I'd do anything like that. And then they just found they didn't find my fingerprints inside the car, but they found it on a bunch of stuff that she claimed was in her car, and then they found some, I guess, prints on stuff outside of her car.
Okay. So it doesn't really fit what would be in character for you to do, and there's just kind of this evidence, but you're not sure if it's really accurate or how things went down.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you tell me about some of the things that you value?
What do you mean?
Like, what are some of the important things to you? What are things that you say, yes, I value, you know, hard work, showing up on time. Other people really value, you know, education. Maybe it's both. Some people say, you know, like, my family is number one no matter what.
Family, friends, you know, doing the stuff I like, bowling, golfing, fishing. Love my parents. Don't know what I'd do without them. Yeah, I mean, I value another job.
Okay. So it sounds like you've got some things that you definitely value that you don't want to lose. How do you think your alcohol use kind of rolls into that?
Not sure.
Not sure. Okay.
Probably not good.
Okay.
But I'll be honest with you, I'm probably going to go back to drinking after I'm done with this probation.
Okay. As far as the crime that you're committed, or the crime that you were convicted of, so you've got the arson, you've got a couple of past DUIs. How do you feel about DUIs as far as how the legal system kind of takes care of them?
Well, like I said, they shouldn't have moved it from .10 to .08. I thought that was kind of ridiculous. I don't know. You know, I don't think it deserves to be a felony by any means. Um, so yeah, I know some people get them, but
Okay. So you feel that the way that the legal system addresses DUIs right now isn't fair, that the limit is
no, I think
not where it should be.
yeah, the limit's not where it should be. Cops hang outside of bars; they wait for people to leave.
Okay. Okay. So
It's
they're
entrapment.
okay. So it's entrapment, and they're kind of looking for people so that they can wrap them into the
Yeah,
system.
make their quota.
Okay. Okay, Todd. So we're almost to the end of the assessment. I've got some more questions that I need to ask. They're pretty specific questions. The first question asks if you've ever sat down with somebody to kind of talk about your criminal history, any sort of issues that you've had. At the end of the assessment, they may have said something about personality or antisocial.
The only assessments I've ever had were for drug and alcohol treatment.
Okay. And you had mentioned that you were living in a house prior to moving back in with your parents. How long did you live in the house for?
I had about 5 years.
5 years, okay. And as far as how you're doing financially, 10 being great, you've got money in savings, and 0 being you don't know how you're going to eat your next meal, where do you find yourself on that scale?
Well, my parents will feed me, but it's about a -1.
Okay.
I'm
So,
pretty wrecked.
so you're not doing well financially at all?
No.
You're looking forward to getting back to work?
Yeah.
Okay. And then there's 2 questions on here. One is pretty specific. Have you ever been charged with escape from a correctional facility or unlawfully at large?
I don't think so.
Okay. I think you would know if you had.
Yeah, I mean, I've never run from the police or anything. So.
Okay. And then the last question just asks, as far as an official record of an assault or violence, did you ever get in any fights, like in school, at the workplace? Has that ever been a part of your history?
Nope. Nope. Never any fights.
Okay. So what I'm going to do, like I said, is that we've got these 8 different sections that kind of talk about your life. I'm going to go ahead and put these in my assessment tool. And then the next time you come back, we will kind of go over some of the areas where we can put some time and energy into that hopefully help with you being successful on supervision.
Okay, so we're done?
Yes.
Awesome.
Thanks.